Here I have two completely different watches at two different ends of the spectrum when it comes to pricing. My most affordable and my most expensive, the Casio F91W and the Rolex GMT Master 2 reference 126710BLRO. These two watches can be seen as complete opposites, but in many ways, I found they complement each other quite nicely in my day-to-day life. As the saying goes, opposites attract, and I happen to have both. Both watches incorporate red and blue into their palettes, but one keeps an extremely low profile, while the other is extremely flashy. While this color choice isn't something commonly associated with the Casio, the red and blue on the F91W highlights its digital display and gives it its iconic retro look, which has stood the test of time, remaining relatively unchanged since its inception, which is an impressive feat in itself. When it comes to the GMT Master 2, it definitely is an important part of the Rolex's identity, forming the DNA of a GMT, and it's what made and continues to make it so iconic, giving birth to the Pepsi nickname. The F91W has legendary status for being incredibly affordable, simple, and reliable. It will last years before you have to replace the battery, and if it comes to that, you could just replace the whole watch itself, given how affordable it is. It's been on the wrists of countless people, and its ease of accessibility makes it a very popular choice for many. Contrasting this is the Pepsi. While the Casio is iconic for being an affordable, easy to obtain timepiece, the Rolex is iconic for being the exact opposite. It's known to be notoriously difficult to obtain with lengthy wait lists and high grey market premiums on the already high retail price, and while it is reliable, you can't rely on it being available to purchase, a case of always in reach versus always out of reach. Both timepieces are icons of their categories. The F91W is the quintessential digital watch, and the Pepsi is the quintessential GMT. They've both inspired many other watches, and both have seen their fair share of fakes and imitations. This will differ depending on your lifestyle, but for me, when it comes to their use and practicality, the difference here is quite obvious. The Casio is a purpose-built watch and continues to be just that, a functional timepiece that does what it's made to do. The Rolex, on the other hand, is placed in a rather interesting position. While it's incredibly well made and is arguably more durable than the Casio, there's always that little bit of fear factor in play when considering a watch for some more demanding activities. I use my F91W as a watch at the gym or something I lounge around with, as it's very lightweight and comfortable. The stopwatch function works beautifully to time my sets during workouts, and it's just a watch I'm not afraid of exploring in or damaging, thanks to its affordability and just the way it looks with wear. With the Rolex, it's kind of reserved for safer activities to reduce the risk of damage. Now, I don't baby the watch, but I definitely won't take it rock climbing or when I'm working with tools, as I find it much better suited for dinners and get-togethers, be it casual or formal. I have worn it to the gym on several occasions, but it feels restrictive and heavy, which can be annoying, whereas the Casio's lightweight strap has ample room for adjustment when my wrists swell up or when it gets hot, and doesn't even feel like it's there. Now, of course, the Casio may look out of place at fancy events, and that's where the Rolex comes in to take its place. They work like a tag team to cover for the other depending on the situation. When thinking about their presence on the wrist, these two contrast each other greatly. The Casio is under the radar with its compact architecture and mostly black look. It works wonderfully as an everyday timepiece for me, as it's something I can pick up and slap on without having to worry about it. It doesn't draw any unwanted attention, and it's overall an unassuming watch. On the opposite end, people will be assuming a lot of things when wearing the Rolex. It pops on the wrist and is a bold watch with its flashy jubilee and bezel colors, so it will and has drawn attention when I've worn it. Its presence is very noticeable, not just to yourself, but possibly to those around you as well. Together, with their differences, they offer versatility by covering a broad range of circumstances. When I need a casual piece that goes with everything, the Casio gets the job done. When I'm headed to an event or special occasion, the Pepsi steps up, and I can see these two making a great two-watch collection. Enjoyment is a tough one for me. I've enjoyed both in all types of occasions, and they're both so different to the point where they offer different wearing experiences and factors for enjoyment. The biggest contributor for me comes from the feelings associated with each timepiece. When I look at the F91W, it's a flood of nostalgia thanks to its retro look, and I always envisioned my childhood, seeing my dad wearing the watch on his wrist everywhere he went. So when I purchased one for myself, it was like buying a piece of history, and wearing it just feels right at home. It's just an all-round fun watch to have and a whole lot of fun to wear. Its design is interesting, and looking at it kind of transports you back in time, giving my eyes a break from the minimalistic, sleek lines of the modern world. For the Pepsi, it reminds me of my accomplishments and gives me a sense of motivation to keep pushing forward. It's not an easy watch to obtain, and getting to the point of affording one definitely wasn't easy, and in a way it's a physical representation of all the hard work paying off. Its red and blue bezel attracts your attention, and it's an eye catcher. Having that pop of color is really a joy to look at, and while it does cost a lot of money, it's money spent on something I can enjoy on my wrist and take with me wherever I want. As different as they are, I feel like these two complement each other well. Think of it in terms of cars, where you have a daily driver and a more luxurious or sporty car you drive on occasion. The Casio covers daily tasks and works well with any casual attire while remaining under the radar. The Rolex calls for attention, covering flashiness and pops on the wrist when the situation calls for it. You get a living legend of the past in the form of the F91W and a modern evolution of a legend in the Pepsi. Both have differing functions, and both have proven themselves to be popular choices in their respective categories. It really feels like the best of both worlds here, and makes me appreciate the broad range of watches available today. Thank you for checking out the video. Let me know what you think about each watch in the comments, and what you think about this pair. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing for more watch content. I'll see you in the next one.